Psalms 119. Verse 1, Blessed are the undefiled in the way, who walk in the law of the Lord. Verse 2, Blessed are those who keep his testimonies, who seek him with the whole heart. Verse 3, They also do no iniquity, they walk in his ways. Verse 4, You have commanded us to keep your precepts diligently. Verse 5, Oh, that my ways were directed to keep your statutes. Verse 6, Then I would not be ashamed when I look into all your commandments. Verse 7, I will praise you with uprightness of heart when I learn your righteous judgments. Verse 8, I will keep your statutes, oh, do not forsake me utterly. Verse 9, How can a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed according to your word. Verse 10, With my whole heart I have sought you, oh, let me not wander from your commandments. Verse 11, Your word I have hidden in my heart, that I might not sin against you. Verse 12, Blessed are you, O Lord, teach me your statutes. Verse 13, With my lips I have declared all the judgments of your mouth. Verse 14, I have rejoiced in the way of your testimonies, as much as in all riches. Verse 15, I will meditate on your precepts, and contemplate your ways. Verse 16, I will delight myself in your statutes, I will not forget your word. Verse 17, Deal bountifully with your servant, that I may live and keep your word. Verse 18, Open my eyes, that I may see wondrous things from your law. Verse 19, I am a stranger in the earth, do not hide your commandments from me. Verse 20, My soul breaks with longing for your judgments at all times. Verse 21, You rebuke the proud, the cursed, who stray from your commandments. Verse 22, Remove from me reproach and contempt, for I have kept your testimonies. Verse 23, Princes also sit and speak against me, but your servant meditates on your statutes. Verse 24, Your testimonies also are my delight and my counselors. Verse 25, My soul clings to the dust, revive me according to your word. Verse 26, I have declared my ways, and you answered me, teach me your statutes. Verse 27, Make me understand the way of your precepts, so shall I meditate on your wonderful works. Verse 28, My soul melts from heaviness, strengthen me according to your word. Verse 29, Remove from me the way of lying, and grant me your law graciously. Verse 30, I have chosen the way of truth, your judgments I have laid before me. Verse 31, I cling to your testimonies, O Lord, do not put me to shame. Verse 32, I will run the course of your commandments, for you shall enlarge my heart. Verse 33, Teach me, O Lord, the way of your statutes, and I shall keep it to the end. Verse 34, Give me understanding, and I shall keep your law, indeed, I shall observe it with my whole heart. Verse 35, Make me walk in the path of your commandments, for I delight in it. Verse 36, Incline my heart to your testimonies, and not to covetousness. Verse 37, Turn away my eyes from looking at worthless things, and revive me in your way. Verse 38, Establish your word to your servant, who is devoted to fearing you. Verse 39, turn away my reproach which I dread, for your judgments are good. Verse 40, behold, I long for your precepts, revive me in your righteousness. Verse 41, let your mercies come also to me, O Lord, your salvation according to your word. Verse 42, so shall I have an answer for him who reproaches me, for I trust in your word. Verse 43, and take not the word of truth utterly out of my mouth, for I have hoped in your ordinances. Verse 44, so shall I keep your law continually, forever and ever. Verse 45, and I will walk at liberty, for I seek your precepts. Verse 46, I will speak of your testimonies also before kings, and will not be ashamed. Verse 47, and I will delight myself in your commandments, which I love. Verse 48, my hands also I will lift up to your commandments, which I love, and I will meditate on your statutes. Verse 49, remember the word to your servant, upon which you have caused me to hope. Verse 50, this is my comfort in my affliction, for your word has given me life. Verse 51, the proud have me in great derision, yet I do not turn aside from your law. Verse 52, I remembered your judgments of old, O Lord, and have comforted myself. Verse 53, indignation has taken hold of me because of the wicked, who forsake your law. Verse 54, your statutes have been my songs in the house of my pilgrimage. Verse 55, I remember your name in the night, O Lord, and I keep your law. Verse 56, this has become mine, because I kept your precepts. Verse 57, you are my portion. O Lord, I have said that I would keep your words. Verse 58, I entreated your favor with my whole heart, be merciful to me according to your word. Verse 59, I thought about my ways, and turned my feet to your testimonies. Verse 60, I made haste, and did not delay to keep your commandments. Verse 61, the cords of the wicked have bound me, but I have not forgotten your law. Verse 62, at midnight I will rise to give thanks to you, because of your righteous judgments. Verse 63, I am a companion of all who fear you, and of those who keep your precepts. Verse 64, the earth, O Lord, is full of your mercy, teach me your statutes. Verse 65, you have dealt well with your servant, O Lord, according to your word. Verse 66, teach me good judgment and knowledge, for I believe your commandments. Verse 67, before I was afflicted I went astray, but now I keep your word. Verse 68, you are good, and do good, teach me your statutes. Verse 69, the proud have forged a lie against me, but I will keep your precepts with my whole heart. Verse 70, their heart is as fat as grease, but I delight in your law. Verse 71, it is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I may learn your statutes. Verse 72, the law of your mouth is better to me than thousands of coins of gold and silver. Verse 73, your hands have made me and fashioned me, give me understanding, that I may learn your commandments. Verse 74, Those who fear you will be glad when they see me, because I have hoped in your word. Verse 75, I know, O Lord, that your judgments are right, and that in faithfulness you have afflicted me. Verse 76, let, I pray, your merciful kindness be for my comfort, according to your word to your servant. Verse 77, let your tender mercies come to me, that I may live, for your law is my delight. Verse 78, let the proud be ashamed, for they treated me wrongfully with falsehood, but I will meditate on your precepts. Verse 79, let those who fear you turn to me, those who know your testimonies. Verse 80, let my heart be blameless regarding your statutes, that I may not be ashamed. Verse 81, my soul faints for your salvation, but I hope in your word. Verse 82, my eyes fail from searching your word, saying, when will you comfort me? Verse 83, for I have become like a wineskin in smoke, yet I do not forget your statutes. Verse 84, how many are the days of your servant? When will you execute judgment on those who persecute me? Verse 85, the proud have dug pits for me, which is not according to your law. Verse 86, all your commandments are faithful, they persecute me wrongfully, help me. Verse 87, they almost made an end of me on earth, but I did not forsake your precepts. Verse 88, revive me according to your loving kindness, so that I may keep the testimony of your mouth. Verse 89, forever, O Lord, your word is settled in heaven. Verse 90, your faithfulness endures to all generations, you established the earth, and it abides. Verse 91, they continue this day according to your ordinances, for all are your servants. Verse 92, unless your law had been my delight, I would then have perished in my affliction. Verse 93, I will never forget your precepts, for by them you have given me life. Verse 94, I am yours, save me, for I have sought your precepts. Verse 95, the wicked wait for me to destroy me, but I will consider your testimonies. Verse 96, I have seen the consummation of all perfection, but your commandment is exceedingly broad. Verse 97, oh, how I love your law, it is my meditation all the day. Verse 98, you, through your commandments, make me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. Verse 99, I have more understanding than all my teachers, for your testimonies are my meditation. Verse 100, I understand more than the ancients, because I keep your precepts. Verse 101, I have restrained my feet from every evil way, that I may keep your word. Verse 102, I have not departed from your judgments, for you yourself have taught me. Verse 103, how sweet are your words to my taste, sweeter than honey to my mouth. Verse 104, through your precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every false way. Verse 105, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Verse 106, I have sworn and confirmed, that I will keep your righteous judgments. Verse 107, I am afflicted very much, revive me, O Lord, according to your word. Verse 108, accept, I pray, the freewill offerings of my mouth, O Lord, and teach me your judgments. Verse 109, my life is continually in my hand, yet I do not forget your law. Verse 110, the wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I have not strayed from your precepts. Verse 111, your testimonies I have taken as a heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. Verse 112, I have inclined my heart to perform your statutes forever, to the very end. Verse 113, I hate the double-minded, but I love your law. Verse 114, you are my hiding place and my shield, I hope in your word. Verse 115, depart from me, you evildoers, for I will keep the commandments of my God. Verse 116, uphold me according to your word, that I may live, and do not let me be ashamed of my hope. Verse 117, hold me up, and I shall be safe, and I shall observe your statutes continually. Verse 118, you reject all those who stray from your statutes, for their deceit is falsehood. Verse 119, you put away all the wicked of the earth like dross, therefore I love your testimonies. Verse 120, my flesh trembles for fear of you, and I am afraid of your judgments. Verse 121, I have done justice and righteousness, do not leave me to my oppressors. Verse 122, be surety for your servant for good, do not let the proud oppress me. Verse 123, my eyes fail from seeking your salvation and your righteous word. Verse 124, deal with your servant according to your mercy, and teach me your statutes. Verse 125, I am your servant, give me understanding, that I may know your testimonies. Verse 126, it is time for you to act, O Lord, for they have regarded your law as void. Verse 127, therefore I love your commandments more than gold, yes, than fine gold. Verse 128, therefore all your precepts concerning all things I consider to be right. I hate every false way. Verse 129, your testimonies are wonderful, therefore my soul keeps them. Verse 130, the entrance of your words gives light, it gives understanding to the simple. Verse 131, I opened my mouth and panted, for I longed for your commandments. Verse 132, look upon me and be merciful to me, as your custom is toward those who love your name. Verse 133, direct my steps by your word, and let no iniquity have dominion over me. Verse 134, redeem me from the oppression of man, that I may keep your precepts. Verse 135, make your face shine upon your servant, and teach me your statutes. Verse 136, rivers of water run down from my eyes, because men do not keep your law. Verse 137, righteous are you, O Lord, and upright are your judgments. Verse 138, your testimonies, which you have commanded, are righteous and very faithful. Verse 139, my zeal has consumed me, because my enemies have forgotten your words. Verse 140, your word is very pure, therefore your servant loves it. Verse 141, I am small and despised, yet I do not forget your precepts. Verse 142, your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and your law is truth. Verse 143, trouble and anguish have overtaken me, yet your commandments are my delights. Verse 144, the righteousness of your testimonies is everlasting, give me understanding, and I shall live. Verse 145, I cry out with my whole heart, hear me, O Lord. I will keep your statutes. Verse 146, I cry out to you, save me, and I will keep your testimonies. Verse 147, I rise before the dawning of the morning, and cry for help, I hope in your word. Verse 148, my eyes are awake through the night watches, that I may meditate on your word. Verse 149, hear my voice according to your loving kindness, O Lord, revive me according to your justice. Verse 150, they draw near who follow after wickedness, they are far from your law. Verse 151, you are near, O Lord, and all your commandments are truth. Verse 152, concerning your testimonies, I have known of old that you have founded them forever. Verse 153, consider my affliction and deliver me, for I do not forget your law. Verse 154, plead my cause and redeem me, revive me according to your word. Verse 155, salvation is far from the wicked, for they do not seek your statutes. Verse 156, great are your tender mercies. O Lord, revive me according to your judgments. Verse 157, many are my persecutors and my enemies, yet I do not turn from your testimonies. Verse 158, I see the treacherous, and am disgusted, because they do not keep your word. Verse 159, consider how I love your precepts, revive me, O Lord, according to your loving kindness. Verse 160, the entirety of your word is truth, and every one of your righteous judgments endures forever. Verse 161, princes persecute me without a cause, but my heart stands in awe of your word. Verse 162, I rejoice at your word, as one who finds great treasure. Verse 163, I hate and abhor lying, but I love your law. Verse 164, 7 times a day I praise you, because of your righteous judgments. Verse 165, great peace have those who love your law, and nothing causes them to stumble. Verse 166, Lord, I hope for your salvation, and I do your commandments. Verse 167, my soul keeps your testimonies, and I love them exceedingly. Verse 168, I keep your precepts and your testimonies, for all my ways are before you. Verse 169, let my cry come before you, O Lord. Give me understanding according to your word. Verse 170, let my supplication come before you, deliver me according to your word. Verse 171, my lips shall utter praise, for you teach me your statutes. Verse 172, my tongue shall speak of your word, for all your commandments are righteousness. Verse 173, let your hand become my help, for I have chosen your precepts. Verse 174, I long for your salvation, O Lord, and your law is my delight. Verse 175. Let my soul live, and it shall praise you, and let your judgments help me. Verse 176. I have gone astray like a lost sheep, seek your servant, for I do not forget your commandments. Amen. God bless you. Please like, share and do subscribe for more videos. Thanks a lot.